Hi, I'm Debbie Hartner.
I'm Elsie Johnson.
We are two sisters, Southern Cooking.
Making a pumpkin pie today, and we're also making a cushaw pie, which is a winter squash as well. So both of these we're going to be making from scratch the filling. So I have a small pie pumpkin here, and these are basically, it's a squash that is used to make your pumpkin pie puree. It's not your typical jack-o'-lantern type. It looks more brownish and it's more flat. So it kind of looks like a squash inside almost. So I have cut this pumpkin in half, scooped out all the seeds and all as much of the string that I could, and I've got my oven at 400, a pan here with parchment on it, and I'm going to put a little bit of salt inside just to season it a little bit. Just basically a couple pinches inside, depending on how big your pumpkin is. Alright, then you put your pumpkin cut side down on your pan, and then we will put it in the oven at 400 for anywhere from 45 minutes to 60 minutes. You should be able to take a fork and pierce the skin, and it go in very easily, and the flesh of the pumpkin will actually start to pull away from the outer skin as well when you flip them over. You'll see that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started, and then we will finish assembling everything together. We have our pie crust already made. It's just a regular pie crust. And as soon as this is done and we start to make the actual filling for the pumpkin, we will come back and show you the rest of the process. I am back. My pumpkin has baked. It has roasted. It has cooled down a little bit. It is still pretty warm, but I'm going to go ahead and flip it over so that I can start scooping out the flesh of the pumpkin. And I am going to put it into my food processor. This will be the first step of actually making the pie. While I'm doing this, Debbie's in there gathering the rest of the ingredients. And this pie is a nod towards a local lady, Karen Avery. She sent me her grandma's recipe, and in this recipe you do not have to do this with fresh pumpkin. You can use pumpkin puree in a can as well, which is what our mom always did. And you definitely, is better to use pumpkin puree and not pumpkin pie filling, because pumpkin pie filling already has all the seasonings in it, and if you're like us, you want to add your own seasonings. If you're not like us and you just want to do it pre-made already, then use the pumpkin pie filling. I only need 3 cups of puree, so you can freeze this. So depending on how much this makes, I think this should be enough to make actually 2 pies. So I probably have enough to make our standard pie at a later date. You can freeze the puree. so I don't have to roast another pumpkin.
So I got all the ingredients together to be able to make the pumpkin pie. So we added an extra ingredient, which is a pumpkin pie spice, and we got all the rest of it. So when she's done pureeing here, we'll put it in a bowl, and then we'll go ahead and mix everything together, and then we can put it into our unbaked pie crust. And I was messing around today with some pie crust designs, so they're going to be pretty, y'all. So we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, so I have the pumpkin in the food processor, so I'm gonna puree it down, and then I'm gonna measure out 3 cups to make the pie with. Okay, we are pureed enough, and I need 3 cups of this, so I'm going to pour that into here. All right, right on the money. Okay, we are mixing the ingredients together. I just put the sugar in and the pumpkin pie spice mix and our egg. And I'm gonna start that mixing, and then I'll add in the butter and the flour, and then we'll add in the last thing we'll do will be the pumpkin puree and the vanilla. And then we'll put it in our pie pan with our pie shell. Alright, so this is flour and this is vanilla pudding mix. Instant vanilla pudding mix. And this is 2 sticks of butter. This is almost enough for 2 pies. Wow. So we could freeze the other and make it later. And the vanilla. And our pie crust. All right, let's go ahead and pour this in. I do believe this is probably enough to do 2 pies, so I'm going to put the other half of it in a freezer bag and then freeze it for maybe next week or something. One day I'll make another one. Because you don't want to
You know what we
overfill
need
this.
to do? We need to make pumpkin bars.
Well, we could probably do that with this.
Actually, you know what? I think you could do more, Elsie. What do you think?
Maybe a little more.
Yeah. I think you could.
Because you don't want it to overflow.
Right.
So.
All right, this is at 300 for 45 minutes to an hour, and then we'll be ready for some delicious pumpkin pie. So we'll see you guys in our next video. I'm Elsie.
And I'm Debbie. We're 2 Sisters Southern Cooking.
And we thank you for visiting our page. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
This show is produced by Two Sisters Productions, McRae, Georgia.